This was the first time I had ever seen the backyard at my would-be home. I was in the process of looking at it to see if I wanted to purchase it, and honestly, the yard made me second guess myself quite a bit. I wasn't seeing what it could become. I wasn't seeing the value that it had at the time. And I was a bit nervous that making this decision was going to be a bad decision. It wasn't that the yard wasn't nice. It was just super overgrown. There was all kinds of just things that were not left and cared for. I wasn't seeing the beauty inside of it all. But one thing that I had to keep in mind was that this was my first time seeing it, and it's not always going to look like roses and beautiful things right away. But there were some things about it, a lot of the greenery and the flowers that really did catch my mind. So eventually Dylan and I had moved in, and we decided that we were going to transform the yard. It did look quite a bit different after I had moved in. It was in the summertime. A lot of that greenery had been cut down and dried up. It doesn't rain a lot here, and so now you'll see it was just all overgrown with weeds and just had nasty dirt. So we decided, the wedding was going to be in about a month and a half, and we had a lot of work to do. So this was how it all started. Very disheveled, very underloved, but with so much potential. On day one, we decided that the first thing that we needed to do was to clear the area where we wanted to get married. I had this vision and this dream with these pink flowers back there, that was where I wanted to get married. So we used electric chainsaws, we used pruners, and we got this whole area cleared off, and you could finally see the gate. Dylan kept on working to thin out the trees, and I kept on filming to help document this whole process. The dogs are having fun too. They were starting to enjoy the fact that their yard was opening up. They could actually move and see things better. So everyone was feeling super happy, and this was again me just deciding this is it. Once we had made some pretty significant progress on the trees and kind of the odds and ends around the yard, we decided we really needed to get down and dirty and get down to the dirt. We decided, okay, let's go ahead and plow this really tough compacted dirt as best we can so we could get it ready for whatever we lay on top. I toyed with the idea of laying down sod, but I quickly realized how dry and difficult it was going to be to make that happen, especially in the part of California that I live in. So I decided, we're gonna go ahead and lay down mulch. So Dylan was just preparing the ground for that. I noticed that Dylan was having a bit of a hard time using this older gasoline rototiller we'd been kindly gifted to borrow, I should say, from my old landlord. But I don't know. I had bad feelings about it. It wasn't doing a whole lot to the dirt. We had to wet the dirt for it to do anything. And I was like, we got to get something better. So Dylan struggled with this quite a bit for maybe a couple of days before I ended up just saying, hey, we're getting a new one. We're getting an electric powered one. And it definitely saved the day. We made some pretty good headroom the first day that he used the rototiller, and it gave me so much confidence in what we were embarking on. We knew it was going to be a long process. We knew there was a lot of work ahead of us, but literally just seeing the fact that those weeds were literally roots now, and no longer seeing just all that green vegetation that comes above the ground, I was like, we're on to something good. Dylan would come home from work every single day and head straight to the backyard to work on the yard. There was days where it was overcast and we would get a little bit more done. And there was days where it was so hot in September and October that it just made it very difficult. But I was such a proud fiance at this point, just seeing my man work so hard so that we could accomplish a mutual goal. I just felt very blessed that I had someone who was willing to put in the work, and it was a lot of work. After many days of working on the left side of the yard, we finally had gotten so much done on that side that Dylan was able to actually start working on the right side of the yard. I believe by this time we did have the electric rototiller, so he was making a lot more progress more quickly. I unfortunately also found this leak that you're seeing in one of my plumbing situations, the many plumbing situations of this house, but we will get that fixed eventually. I was starting to feel like there wasn't much that I could contribute other than financially to the project. Dylan would spend a lot of time rototilling, cutting the trees back, and was doing a lot of the work, so the least I could do was try to shovel up the excess dirt. So that's what I was working on in this clip here, and believe it or not, working in the yard really gave me a lot of just motivation to be healthier. I definitely realized how out of shape I was working on the yard, but I also realized how much stamina I really still do have. And if I just put my mind and body towards anything, I can do it. It took some time. It was very labor intensive. I needed to take my breaks, but I really did contribute to the project. And I think that's what mattered to me most.
Get him, Charlie. Get him back.
The dogs had several weeks of a wonderful dirt hill that they would just play in and get all dirty in. I was so ready to get this dirt up, but let them enjoy themselves and enjoy being a dog while they could. Then we started making some really exciting progress. We put down the weed barrier and we started thinking about making what I had been envisioning as a rock pit. And my dad had come by and was helping us actually lay down some stone to kind of give us an idea of what it might look like for the aisle walkway towards us getting married. I had ordered this archway from Amazon and made it really easy. Shout out to Amazon for literally funding my wedding. They did everything. They brought me all kinds of stuff. You guys will see, but anywho, back to what we're focusing on. So we were just trying to decide between 3 different types of rock. We could go with the heritage stone to the left. We could have gone with the river pebbles in the middle or the pond pebbles on the far right. We ended up choosing the pond pebbles. My dad was an amazing help through this entire process. We got all of the rock delivered to the house, or should I say we delivered the rock to the house. We picked it up. It was such a drama fest getting all of these rocks in the back of the truck. It was so heavy and I wasn't even thinking about it at all. But my dad came through, the truck came through, we got all the rocks delivered to the house, and that next couple of days just consisted of us putting those rocks down. And by us, I mean my dad and my now husband.
Guys, go Dad. Go Dad, where did we put the rocks?
It took Dylan all of one evening to put down all of the rocks. I had told him to wait to work with my dad, but you know my husband, he just cannot keep his hands off of a project. So he put it all down. I was super excited. I had my tea and I just wanted to walk on the rocks. I was starting to see my vision of my rock pit come to life, and I cannot tell you how excited I was. Things were really starting to take shape. I could see the divisions in the yard. I could see that, yes, we still had so much dirt to remove, and we had so much work ahead of us, but just kind of finishing this small area, it really helped me to calm my nerves, see the vision ahead of us, and understand, okay, we're making progress, we're getting there. We don't have a whole lot of time, but we're going to make it work. And this morning was just really special to me, and I was really starting to just see the future of what this yard would hold. And as the old saying goes, what goes up must come down. And this was one of those days. Like I'd been saying before, I was feeling like I really couldn't contribute. I have a small car, I don't have a truck, I'm a woman, and sometimes I feel like I'm not as strong, you know? So I go to Home Depot and I buy 32 bags of mulch because I am ready to get this section of the yard completed and get it going. It's hot, I'm ready, only to find out that this mulch was the wrong mulch, and it was like manure. It was covered in flies within minutes of me putting it down, and honestly, I felt so defeated. I wanted to just give up. The wedding had already been such a stressful process to plan, and then to just bring home 32 large, heavy bags of essentially manure. I can't begin to tell you where my brain was headed. Thankfully, ahead of time, I had purchased 2 bags of this Earth Grow by Scott's. It was the right mulch compared to what I had gotten by Vigoro, which was the wrong mulch. So I went back to Home Depot a couple of days later and several trips after that to bring home this proper mulch. And before you know it, me and Dylan were in the backyard laying down the proper mulch and getting the yard completed. I had watched several YouTube videos on different ways that you can lay down a weed barrier, whether you're buying traditional weed barrier like we did from underneath the rocks, or you want to do something like this where you're laying down cardboard. It will decompose over time and break down, so I'm not sure the longevity of it, but it was very cost effective, and with all of the different costs that we were incurring with the wedding, this really did seem like something that was doable for us. Dylan had a lot of boxes at his job, and I had been ordering a ton of things from Amazon, so we had plenty of cardboard. So that's just us saying hi. We were getting to work, laying down the cardboard, and it honestly was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. Once we had laid down all of the cardboard that we had accumulated over the last couple of months, I went ahead and sprayed the cardboard down. I'm not exactly sure what this does, but I believe that it helps everything to kind of just meld together. So ended up spraying that down while Dylan was still putting mulch down on the other side, and we were almost in a space where we could go ahead and lay mulch down on the side where I'm standing.
I never felt tomorrow closing in this fast. Oh, I guess time's in a rush.
This process was definitely a day where I felt I had a bit more enthusiasm and positivity than Dylan was having. So I made us stop and take a quick little photo together. There's no one that I would rather renovate an entire yard with. And honestly, the results of what we were doing, they were coming together. He was having a harder time seeing it because he'd been doing a lot of the more labor-intensive work. But I was like, nope, we're here, we're gonna do it, it's coming together, and everything started to fall into place.
Yeah, it is just enough to get by.
truly that anything you put your mind to, you can do. And it really taught us a lot about teamwork. And when one of us was having a rough day, which believe me, I had more rough days than Dylan, and I wasn't even the one working as hard on the yard. Mentally, this wedding was just so stressful in so many ways. So this yard coming together the way that it was finally giving us both that little serotonin boost we needed to keep pushing. Knowing that the wedding was in a couple of days, was stressful, but I knew that we could do it. So I realized that I haven't actually really talked on the camera for this video. If you are enjoying this video, please give this video a like. We put a lot of hard work into making this backyard transformation come true. And as you can see, I have some doggies here doing their thing. But pretty much we did a lot to get this where it is. And I'm gonna show you guys where we are about a week and a half until the wedding. And then you'll be able to kind of see the progress as we continue. I hope I've captured enough of the transformation to kind of show you where we are. Some of it might more so be in photos than it is in video, but take a look at what we have for today and I'll keep you guys updated. It might not look like it, but the heat was insane, you guys. We had on our hats, we were drinking lots of water and trying to just trudge through the day as best we could. But look at this amazing progress. We were starting to finally realize we can do this. We still didn't know exactly where we wanted the mulch to end, exactly how we wanted the borders of the house to be, but little by little, the vision we had for the yard was coming to life. I wanted the dogs to have a little bit of dirt that they could still walk in, so I brought a couple of stones and I was starting to kind of frame out a border. We were starting to also put down the walkway. So now pieces of the puzzle were coming together to make a full, complete picture. And when you can't do it all by day, you resort to doing it by night. We have this section left and that section left. The night we ended up working on the yard ended up falling on Halloween night. We really didn't even plan it or think about it, but we threw on some spooky music. The weather was great because it'd been so hot during the day, and we just trudged through the evening and we got so much done. I even put a little black border of mulch around the tree. That's a wonderful little orange tree that we have, and it just really brought it to life. And then the day finally came. The yard was finished. It was right before the wedding, and there was rain. I believe this was on a Wednesday and the wedding was on a Friday. But all of our hard work was finally complete. The rain came in and it seemed to have just washed away all of the stress. It brought out the vibrant colors of the mulch and the rocks, and the sun peeked through the clouds, and it just was such a dynamic day. I felt finally that we had accomplished everything we had hoped for. It was finally time to do the last minute fine details. We needed to hang up the lights, figure out how we were going to decorate this beautiful green floral wall that my mom came up with, and just get the tables and chairs and things of that nature set up. The night before the wedding, everybody was all hands on deck. I really appreciated my family during this time. Seeing the chairs set up, seeing this photo booth in the making, it just all came together. And I was finally seeing that my wedding was really going to be as beautiful as I had imagined. It was finally the morning of the wedding, and all of the last minute details that we hadn't finished the night before were getting completed. I wasn't able to take a lot of pictures because, of course, as the bride, I had to hide away. But let me just show you guys some of the videos from the wedding and you'll just see for yourself. It really was my dream wedding. Everything that I could have hoped for. It felt magical, beautiful, filled with love, family, and friends. And honestly, I'm just so proud of me and Dylan.
That's his favorite word. You love what?
I hope you all enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all of our family and friends that made this day possible. Without them, we wouldn't have had the most amazing wedding ever. Stay tuned for the next video where you'll get to see the actual wedding vlog and get to see more of the details. See you soon.